In a country where over 1,500, 600 people are getting gunned down every year, do you think that when someone is caught with an illegal firearm that monetary fines is enough? Or do you think mandatory jail time should follow? Answer me in the comment section. I'll see you there. Right, welcome to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It's your host with the most. So this one is called Let the Punishment Fit the Crime. Right? You know that in Jamaica we have an issue where as far as where guns are concerned. So there are a lot of murders with the use of a gun. A lot of these guns involved in these murders are illegal, to the tune of 1,660 murders in 1 year. 1,660 murders in 1 year. And with all these murders, that number is just staggering to me. I can't imagine 1,616 people being gunned down in one little country like Jamaica, one little place. That's a scary thought. The bigger picture though is this. We've always said in order for us to do anything about guns that are out there already, there's nothing you can do about them. Unless you can go find where they hid them, dig them up and take them, there's nothing that you can do. And as long as we cannot stop the inflow of these guns, then there's nothing we can do. The guns will continue to come. So if they say on the news 5 guns were picked up in Clarendon today, then you must believe that 10 more just hit the streets. So it's a cycle that goes round and round. The newspaper looks good for reporting it. The police looks good for finding 5. And the man who makes sure that they come through gets his money, because as them gone and replace them, so his business is ever booming. Right? This is a crazy cycle to be caught in. Now I'm looking at this headline, and the headline says 4 St. James men were convicted on gun charges over recent weeks. One of my biggest things about Jamaica is this. 4 suspects were held in this murder investigation. And I don't do any report on that because you know why? 2 weeks later, when I check, 4 suspects were released that were held. So, and it happens 99.9% of the time. Another thing is, someone commits a crime, a murder per se. They go in front of a judge, they plead, they act remorseful, and instead of getting a full book thrown at them get a half a leaf. In other words, you're looking at 25 years hard labor in prison for a murder that they know you committed. You admitted to committing. But all you have to do is go stand up there and pretend to be remorseful, etc., etc., and that time is automatically chopped in more than half. And then on good behavior or anything else, that half is chopped in probably another half. And these murderers are young enough when they get out to go do it again, because they're going to prison at 19, 20, 21. And you give them 10, 15 years, they're out at 30, 35, 40. You know what I'm saying? Young enough to terrorize the neighborhoods and the country again. Now anyways, in this particular incident, I saw the headline, 4 St. James men convicted on gun charges over recent weeks. And I said to myself, that's a good look. So let's see. And then I read, 2 19-year-old are among 4 men of St. James addresses who were convicted in the Western Regional Gun Court over the past 2 weeks of this month of August. We're in September now. Today is September 2nd. The 2 convicted teens are Dante Thorpe, unemployed, of Hampton Plumtree, and Cardell Spence, alias Breda, a carpenter of Cassava Walk, Albion. The others are 29-year-old security guard Michael Scott, also called Mike, of Flamestead District, and 43-year-old laborer Kirk Russell of Hart Street, Montego Bay, and Retirement District. Now, Thorpe, who was charged with illegal possession of firearm and ammunition, check this part out, he was sentenced to a fine. So you're caught with illegal weapons, illegal guns, and ammunition, and you get sentenced to a fine. He gets sentenced to a fine of 400,000 Jamaican dollars. And if he's not able to pay that 400,000 Jamaican dollars, then he will have to do 2 years in prison for the firearm and 3 years of probation order for the ammunition. So either way, he gets away with the illegal ammunition because he'll be on probation. But for the firearm, he will have an illegal gun. He'll have to do 2 years. So in other words, then he can buy his way out of this. And what the state's letting you know is, pay us some money and we'll let you go. That's basically what this is. Fined $400,000 or 2 years in prison. The other guy, Spence, was charged with illegal possession of firearm and ammunition, and he was sentenced to 3 years of probation on each count. No prison time, just 3 years of probation on each count. Scott was charged with 2 counts of illegal possession of firearm. 2 counts of illegal possession of firearm and illegal possession of ammunition. So I don't know if them find him with 2 guns. He was caught with 2 counts of illegal possession of firearm and illegal possession of ammunition. He was sentenced to a fine of $200,000 or 18 months in prison. So, in other words, if he doesn't want to do that 18 months in prison, his family or him better come up with that $200,000. And if they're able to come up with it, he will walk for each firearm and 3 years probation order for the ammunition. So he was sentenced to a fine of $200,000 or 18 months in prison for each firearm. So he was caught with 2 firearms. So he needs to come up with $400,000 then. Or he will do 18 months for each of these firearms. So that's 18 times 2. So 400 grand will let you walk free. And you will do probation for the ammunition. Is this a deterrent? In your eyes, answer me honestly in the comment section. Is this a deterrent? I've done videos before though where I've said the FLA in Jamaica, they don't operate in a timely manner. For instance, I live in the state of Florida. If I want to go purchase a firearm, if I want to go buy a gun today, matter of fact, I carry one, right? If I want to go buy a gun today, I would have to go down to my local gun shop, right? And I would make the purchase at my local gun shop. And when I make the purchase at my local gun shop, they would do what's called a background check. Now, in that background check, what they would do is run your stats, see if you have any warrants or if you are a convicted felon, because it's illegal for a convicted felon to own a firearm. It takes about 2 days, 2 to 3 days. Once that is done, you'll get a phone call that says your background check came back okay, and we can now issue your weapon. So you can come pick it up today. Then I'll just go down there and I'll pick my weapon up. There are a lot of citizens in Jamaica, given the fact that every criminal and their mother have a gun. I've said before that the citizens themselves need to start arming themselves. This could be a booming business in Jamaica. Open up shooting ranges and open up classes at these shooting ranges where people can go and learn about a weapon. Learn how to break it down, learn how to oil it properly, learn how to properly store it, which I'm going to show you in a minute. Learn how to put it back together safely. And then they'll feel confident in using it as opposed to being so afraid of a gun. Because people that commit crimes with guns, they're not afraid of guns. So some of these citizens, it's easier for them to get an illegal gun. And they're not out doing crimes. They just carry the gun just in case. Now me, I'm looking at these charges, and I'm thinking to myself, if I go through the NFL, right, or the proper chains to get a legal firearm in Jamaica, and they're telling me that it's taking a year or 2 years. I'm not risking being shot or risking living at the mercy of gunmen for a year or 2 years before I get something that can defend myself and my family. I'm probably gonna end up getting an illegal firearm, because it's better to be caught with one than without one. Plain and simple. Because if the charge is 400,000, I'm sure my family can put that money together. And I'll do the rest of the time on probation and no prison time. So again, there's two sides to this story that we have to look at. Okay? Now, just quickly, I'm going to show you something. This right here. So, I remove the clip. It's already cocked back, and this is how I actually store my weapon when my children are around. So get you one of these for those of you who actually do have legal firearms or firearms and you have children around. So when you do this, you can actually keep it locked. Your child can't cock back, select, can't put a clip in, can't do anything with it. Your gun is safe. Right? I don't know how they sell these in Jamaica or how many of these are available, but if you're there, ask one of your family relatives to mail it to you. It costs about $9.99 at a local Walmart here in the States, and then you walk around with your key. And when you're ready to use your weapon, or for me, nighttime come, I'm in my house, my weapon is right next to me because that's how I sleep. And that's of course for any break-in, any intruders, or if me I go a road and I'm ready to go, right? So just a quick lesson on that. But I don't think the crime fit the time. If you're caught with an illegal weapon, I don't think in a climate like what Jamaica has that you should be getting just monetary fines. Some people have these guns, and they have these guns so they rent them out. I hope they run a ballistic on these guns that they're taking off of these people. And like I said, some people, they just can't wait on the NFL, FLA, I keep saying the NFL, I'm thinking National Football League. But the gun administration, they cannot wait on them because they're incompetent and they take forever. So they go the illegal route. Some people rent their guns out to real criminals who go use and bring back some of the spoils to them, plus pay for the use of the gun. So I hope they actually run ballistics on these weapons. I'm going to cut this video here short, but leave your comment in the comment section below. I'm out. Peace.